The ultimate gaming event is back. April 4th through the 6th, the Midwest Gaming Classic returns to the Baird Center in downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Get ready for over 350,000 square feet of non-stop gaming action, showcasing the latest modern and retro game consoles, pinball machines, arcade games, tabletop, and so much more. Meet industry professionals, join engaging live panels, and explore the expansive vendor hall, the largest of its kind. Best of all, kids 9 and under are free. Grab your tickets online at MidwestGamingClassic.com or at the Baird Center. Welcome to the next level.
Hello, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 17 of the Midwest Gaming Classic podcast. I'm your host, Jason Garris, panel director of the Midwest Gaming Classic. Philo Barnhart was an animator for the games Dragon's Lair and Space Ace, and he teamed up with artist Charles D. Moisant on Family Day for Drawing with Philo. From Dirk the Daring and Ace to Ariel the Mermaid and much more. Philo is perhaps best known for other projects he helped animate. The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, The Rescuers Down Under, The Secret of NIMH, Happily Ever After, An American Tale, and special effects for Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Philo is joined by Charles, a comic book artist, writer, and the creative director of Silver Phoenix Entertainment, where the two worked together on new projects. And you know what? Enough of me talking. Why don't we get to the podcast?
Philo Barnhart is an animator whose credits include Dragon's Lair with Don Bluth Productions and The Little Mermaid with Disney. In this presentation, he's going to do a live commentary to Dragon's Lair, as well as discuss some of the things that he's done as an animator.
Hello, Philo.
Hello.
How are you today?
Ready to listen to you.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's get things started. First off, can you talk a little bit about your past and your family and other great stuff? Because this guy here, not only is an animator who worked for Disney, but he's a second generation Disney legend. Hey, your mother and father worked for Disney, correct?
That is correct.
Wait, if your mother and father worked for Disney, what does that make you?
I guess a Disney brat.
Oh. Well, can you talk a little bit about your mom and dad first, what they did and some neat things?
Yeah, my mother started there in 1942. And she was a wonderful watercolor painter and a little chauvinistic in those days because if you were female, you got relegated to the ink and paint department. So that's where she ended up. In 1944, my father ended up working as an assistant animator there. And met her, and they were married the same year.
Now, why did they get married so quickly?
Because World War II was going on, and if you found somebody you got along with, you bonded. Because nobody knew what tomorrow was going to bring back then.
Now, you're very well known for The Little Mermaid, but can you talk a little bit about your history and how you got started in animation?
Well, my entry into the business was with Hanna-Barbera. It was a wonderful cartoon studio for television. And I'm sure you're all familiar with the Smurfs, and before that, the Jetsons, and Scooby-Doo, and Flintstones. There you go. I started in 1977, and that was with, Star Wars had just come out, everything was going space fantasy, so they took all their old characters and put them in new shows where they were racing spaceships and things. That was Yogi's Space Race, I think it was?
Yes!
Yeah, searching my memory here, so. But Galaxy Goof Ups was another one. And we did more Jetsons, and then I said, let's do more Johnny Quest. They said, okay, so we did. And I got to work with Doug Wildey, who was the original producer on that show. So, and he was a great comic book artist too.
Now, I also heard you went through a blue phase in animation. Can you explain the blue phase?
The blue phase? You mean Don? Don. Oh, the Smurfs. So cute, you just want to drop a brick on them. Yeah, some of my friends at the studio took them, the stuffed toys out to the desert, used them for target practice. And it was a good way to, catharsis and have some closure. So, but no, they were our bread and butter for several seasons. And I got to be there for the beginning, the origin of the characters.
Wait a second, you actually designed some of the Smurf characters?
Yes, I did.
That's amazing. How hard would it be to draw a Smurf?
Pretty hard now because it's been many years. But if I had visual reference, I could do them. They have more in common with Mickey Mouse than some of the other characters I've done, because they're made out of circles.
Now, isn't Smurfette actually just a male Smurf in drag?
Oh, gee, I don't know. I don't want to go there.
Why do all the Smurfs have a white hat and the one Smurf has a red hat? I wonder if that's a southern thing.
I don't know. I don't dare go there.
Oh, goodness. Now, did you just stay at Hanna-Barbera, or what happened after that?
No, I had a very convoluted career. But I was about 20 when I started working. And in 1979, I took a sabbatical. Boy, it would help if my teeth wouldn't leave my body.
You're like me.
So I was offered the chance to work on Star Trek The Motion Picture, which was nearing completion. And they needed more people that could do hand-drawn animation because we didn't have any computer graphics back then. So everything had to be created by hand, and so they hired 4 more of us from Hanna-Barbera. And we had to go down to Marina Del Rey every day, which is miles away from where we were in the valley in California. And we had facilities all over the map out there, actually. And so poor Jeffrey Katzenberg logged in more time in his car going from building to building for the production than he did actually working on the show.
That's crazy.
So we got that done, and went back to Hanna-Barbera for a while, and then Don Bluth had left Disney Studio with his crew to get started on Secret of NIMH. And so I went and applied, and I took what they call an in-between test, and they hired me. So off I went to Don Bluth, and was there for about 4 years. And right after Secret of NIMH, we made Dragon's Lair and Space Ace and Dragon's Lair 2, the Time Warp.
Hold on, you actually worked on the video games? What did you do?
What didn't we do? But I learned a lot on that project. Up till then, I'd only done TV-style animation, which is really limited. By the time I got to Don Bluth, I learned how full animation is done, for feature films. But we found it a lot faster to do the games because the scenes only last between 3 feet and 10 feet of film because of the fast pace of the game. So we sailed through that game in about 6 months, the first one. And to expand the time that you're playing a little bit, we flopped the sequences, so we cheated. But by the time we did Space Ace, we added more sequences. We didn't have to flop everything, and have you go through it the opposite way.
That's amazing.
And then by the time we did Dragon's Lair 2, Time Warp, then we really threw everything but the kitchen sink into the thing.
That's a crazy one, especially
We even had 2 sequences where Dirk took the time machine into 2 different areas that we had to cut because we just didn't have enough time to get them done. But it had been recorded and started animation, and that was Dirk goes into the future on the time machine and battles a giant robot, among other things. And then there was a pirate sequence where we built a model ship and everything, painted it white and lined it, photographed it, and had the pirates on board and everything.
But it didn't make the cut.
No, we didn't have time to finish it.
Okay, everybody, stick your tongue out, hold on to it, and say pirate ship. Oh boy. I got a question, Tech. Any luck at finding Dragon's Lair on YouTube? Okay, what we're going to do is a special treat never done before.
Is it the one that has the death scenes too?
He doesn't know.
Oh,
We'll do the first regular playthrough, and then we'll do the death scenes. Okay, so did you pull something up, Dragon's Lair?
because
Yeah, hold on, let me help.
at dailies we always look forward to seeing the death scenes because they were so funny.
Okay, what we're going to do is he's going to do commentary, and he's going to tell you some secrets, behind the scenes stuff, some ha-has, some oh my goodness, and crazy stories. This has never happened before in our 4 years of the convention, so you are being treated to a first. Also, at the end of that, if you have any questions, we'll do our best to answer. Now, what I do is I publish comic books, trading cards, I do horror and educational. If you can go to my website, silverphoenix.net, you can see I'm working on a book called History of the Police in America, as well as Haunting Tales of Bachelor's Grove, and a few other great things. Another thing that's kind of fun for Philo is he also did go beyond Don Bluth. And what was your biggest film you worked on?
Well, there were several, but the most notable is Little Mermaid. And my last one for Disney was Beauty and the Beast.
Did you see the live action one? Did you see the live action?
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. And my friend Jack Morrissey is the producer, so what kind of friend would I be if I didn't go see it?
What was kind of amazing is we ended up going to our local theater, Lake Theater, and we set up in a corner. So only people who went to a certain theater got to see us. The rest were oblivious. And wow, I could do Star Wars. And but the amazing reaction people got who went to see the movie, then realized who he was. There was this one woman at the end of the day who looked at the stuff, then was banging on the theaters who were coming up, almost in tears, saying, "Can we get one? Can I get something?" They were like, "Yeah, sure." We opened up the books and we sold her a print. One of our friends told me she was sitting in the car, just staring at the picture, grinning but tearing up. It was like, oh, just such a cute thing. Well, we're going to play Dragon's Lair. This is going to be the actual game. Philo, please get up and walk around so you can see what's going on and you can help describe it. Also, Philo is going to China for the first time in his life. He's going to be teaching and presenting their classes and some incredible great things. There you go, Philo. Maestro, please start the camera. What's going on here?
This is the opening, just after the trailer you would watch, and then you plunk your quarters in there. And the opening, it's a background by Don Moore. And those backgrounds where the floor seems to be going away were actually painted hollow, and then the animation filled in the floor.
Now, are any of these your scenes, Philo, or?
They come too rapidly to tell you about, but a lot of them are in here, yeah. Especially the death scenes, when the snakes get a hold of him and squeeze him to death. A lot of those are mine. But you'll see the characters have a kind of an economy of line. That's intentional because of all the footage we have to get through. And, some of our people had trouble drawing the human form in motion, so we found ways of shorthanding the human body.
I know these creatures are so bizarre.
Yeah, a good deal of these backgrounds are Don Moore's. Don went on to Disney later on, just like myself, and worked on Tarzan. I believe he was on Mulan also.
What was one of the hardest things you went through while animating this, Philo?
One of the hardest things?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was all kind of fun to do. But the sound editor, Dan Molina, was the voice of Dirk the Daring. Nobody had any idea he had that in him. Because he came up with a variety of screams and grunts and things that were very funny.
So, you know how sometimes cartoons are smart or cartoons are dumb, like the characters? How would you put Dirk's level? Is he smart? Is he dumb? Is he just crafty? How would you put him in a game term?
On a 10 scale
Yeah.
for intelligence?
Yeah.
Princess Daphne is Vera Lanford, by the way. She was good at squealing and squeaking naturally, so Dawn says, how would you like to do the voice of Daphne? But, on a 10 scale of intelligence, maybe about a 6.
He seems to be a great fighter, though.
This is my sequence that's been spoofed in everything, including Family Guy, where Peter was wearing Dirk the Daring's outfit and went through the horse thing. And, that death scene, he hits the wall and he shatters into a million pieces. Pieces fall on the floor. I tried to play this darn thing too, and I just couldn't do it. It was enough to make it.
These are just all beautiful.
And, the process went really quick.
Does anybody have a question they'd like to ask? Curious?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I do remember when I was younger, they actually made a cartoon series based on Dragon's Lair.
Yeah, that was done at Ruby Spears.
I was wondering if you may have had anything to do with that as well?
No, I was already, on to other studios by then. Yeah. But I remember them doing it. Some of my friends were over there working on it.
Were all these sequences storyboarded?
Wait, say again?
Were all these sequences storyboarded?
Oh yes.
Can you talk about that process a little bit?
Well, that came out of Don Bluth talking with the research and development people that brought the project to us originally. I think they were called Magicom. And but Don Bluth came up with a lot of the ideas for what he was going to go through and encounter. And we often piled into the car with Don and went to the recording studio and we did all the voices together.
Were you involved in Wizard? Or was that before your time?
Which one?
Wizard?
Oh, that's Ralph Bakshi's film? No, that was a little before my time, yeah.
Like in the early 70s.
Yeah.
Now, didn't you work for Bakshi for a while?
No, not actually, no. A lot of my friends did. That creature is Dave Spafford's voice. This is the actual game. It's just being played straight through. Yeah?
Does that seem to be inspired by the
Oh, I don't know about that, but
Oh, Philo. By the way, this is Philo's most famous voice. Make a voice, Philo. Okay.
yes, I am the Lizard King.
I think the Lizard King has a crush on Dirk.
Yeah.
Now we will show all the death scenes after this.
Yeah, when he drags Dirk off, he says, so we all got to do voices. Vera Lanford was Daphne.
Talk about her real quick.
Vera Lanford?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was my coworker. We did the same job. We did key character cleanup. And she had the greatest squeal when we were at dailies, and she'd start laughing. Everyone would laugh because they'd hear Vera going. So Don says, we got to use that voice. Then later, her buddy Lorna Pomeroy got cast as Kimmy in Space Ace. What were you going to say, Joe?
I said, everybody almost went crazy with their voice. No human can imitate it.
No, Vera is distinctive. But Dave Spafford and I did the Mudmen voices. In Space Ace, we did the giant green dogs and the blue cats. And those little triangular guys that talked like.
Never been able to beat the game, though? Never been able to beat the game?
No, I got as far as Dirk swinging on the. I got him across that, and then.
Now, one thing I liked had when I was in college doing sound editing, things like that, I got so good at the game, I would be backwards, moving that stick around and hitting the button, not even looking at it, and I'd beat the game.
Wow.
When we first did these gags, we didn't have any indication for the player, shame on us, of where they should try to go, so we ended up having to put those flashing things in there. That was an afterthought, but we did it forevermore.
One thing that was kind of interesting about the game was when the game first came out, a lot of the arcades were like, "Oh my God, this thing's like $4,000." Are you crazy? So they're really uncomfortable about spending that much. So they decided to charge double. That's one of the first games to charge double. On average, the game would pull in 1,000 a day. So after the first week, they were at a profit.
As far as I've been told, the game is now housed in the Smithsonian Institution, but nobody knows where it is. It's like the Ark. It's been absorbed into their warehouse and it's gone. Here's our Mudmen voices. But it made our poor effects department work overtime on this thing.
Like basically as soon as you get it.
This is the stuff John Pomeroy and I did together. That reaction of his is what's called staggered animation. What you do is you animate his expression straight ahead, right? Like that. Then you shoot it out of order. So it's like... That's called staggering. We used it a lot in Secret of NIMH as well.
To me, that looks terrified.
But everyone's favorite thing to see at dailies every week was the death scenes. We'd all be howling. Tears were coming out of our eyes. We were laughing so hard.
Now, who here remembers this game? Raise your hand.
Wow, almost the entire room. But I think some of my favorite deaths are in Space Ace, like the giant ace grabbing the tiny one, putting him in his mouth and drawing out a skeleton. The Phantom Ray, yeah. Help! Dexter regain his manhood.
We'll show that one after we show the death scenes, and I'll talk a little bit about that.
But in that one, I'm the computer voice that keeps popping up. Alert, seal off all exit to level 1.
Whoa!
Actually, Dirk and Daphne took me no time at all to draw. It was the dragon that slowed me down doing this sequence. Anytime you have a character with ribs or feathers or things that have to follow through from drawing to drawing, it takes forever. Because you don't want the lines going all over the place. This dragon keeps it around his neck. Slay the dragon. Use the magic sword. Well, we were inspired, obviously, by Marilyn Monroe. Both John Pomeroy and I had Marilyn Monroe pictures all around our desks.
Daphne is considered one of the top sexiest princesses.
But if I have time later, I'll show you how easy it is to put the characters together. They had these signature wrinkles on their elbows and knees. They were like a little Z shape.
What is she whispering to him?
Oh, you can imagine. Now you get to see the truly fun thing. Oh yeah.
Now comes the death. These are all the stand-ins, the stunt doubles.
Yeah, this is the trailer that kept running until you put quarters in, and then, of course, we did.
Death scene.
Yeah. Some people really went overboard and they put large screen TVs over the
Red carpet to the game.
Yeah, so it was like watching them in a movie theater.
Ah, death. Yes.
I just remember being amazed when they came out, and friends took me to the arcade, and I don't believe this, you know, the reaction. Is this the death scene, or is this the game again?
No, it's a death. Take a watch.
Oh, okay, here we go. Of course, that's stock footage. We just reuse that over.
Hey, that's your snake, Philo.
Yeah. Yeah, that was difficult to do because I'm trying to keep the stripes straight.
Look at this.
Yeah. We ribbed Dan constantly about the voice. Nobody knew he had it in him. And that's real. That sounds like a chimpanzees that we used. And there's absolutely no computer graphics in these things. Everything was done by hand. You can imagine being one of the effects animators back then.
I love that one. What were some of your inspiration? Any questions?
Oh, you mean where he looks angry and then rejuvenates? Yeah. It's akin to the main titles of a TV show or something. In fact, the same animation got used in Dragon's Lair too. It's a little like working on Saturday morning television. Everything's economy. On the TV shows, we had a stock department, so we could go in and, like on Super Friends, we could go in and pick scenes that were similar.
He worked on Super Friends! Oh, the Pat loves them.
I got a lot of Wonder Woman to do because I was good with her, so.
Hey, who wouldn't want to be good with Wonder Woman?
Yeah, I think you'll find talking animators, a lot of them don't want to draw people, so I was one of the weirdos that did want to draw people, so yeah, so I got a lot of them to do, especially the princesses and the other girls. Occasionally you'll see some really ugly drawings, but it doesn't matter. It's a fast-paced game. Who cares? Does anyone know who did the voice of Borf in Space Ace? That's Don Bluth himself. The day we recorded voices for that, they ran us through a synthesizer in real time, so we could hear what we sounded like, and it was really bizarre to hear yourself voice altered in your headphones. We actually animated him distorted underwater, like you see people when they're... because we didn't have time to use a ripple glass. That's usually how they make it look like it's underwater.
Oh God, the sound. That's worse than crushing a bug.
That's the one they spoofed on Family Guy.
What was one of the craziest memories you have of this game when it came out, or some of the inside?
Watching a child play it backwards. I mean, like Mozart playing the piano backwards in the movie. Did it turning away from the, reaching behind him.
When Family Guy spoofed that, did they have to come to you guys or anybody to get the rights to do that?
Oh, that I don't know, because that was like decades. A couple decades later.
That also falls under the Parody Act. There's a lot of things you could parody.
Yeah.
Family Guy is all parody. He did not get the princess in that one.
Nope.
Hey, it's like, I hate you. We're going to go to Space Ace, and he's going to talk about some of the changing technologies, some of the ideas. He'll also talk a little bit, if you want, about his career at Disney. He is one of the creators of Little Mermaid. He also worked on a crazy amount of shows. Give me name some of the shows you did for Disney.
You mean the movies?
Yes.
The first one was Winnie the Pooh and a Day for Yore, which was a short. And then the next was Black Cauldron. I was in on the last 9 months of that. It had been in production for 10 years. So I was in the last 9 months of that, and I had a blast. Then some time passed, and I went to other studios. Went to Filmation, worked on 2 of their movies, and then they closed down. Just as they were closing down, Mermaid was opening up. So that was in '87. I went over to Little Mermaid and stayed with the company for 14 years. Total of 18 years I was with them.
Are you ready for Space Ace? Let's hear some applause.
And that's the poster that John Pomeroy and I did when the game was new. This one we actually built models of the spacecraft and the corridors that moved and the maze that moves. They were actual physical models that we built, and we painted them white and then we lined them in black and photographed them and then Xeroxed them onto celluloids, and I placed the characters on top of them or around them or where they have to be. We didn't have any ability to use CG yet.
Wait, that computer screen with the wine, that's not computer animated.
No, in fact, the ship is a model. The lettering is a model. The little platform that Worf is riding on is a model. That's my voice. Those main gate.
Did you use rotoscoping to do some of this?
No rotoscoping on the humans, but only the models, the spacecraft and things.
Now, what you're seeing is basically all the adult choices, as in he becomes a grown-up to go through the game, not him staying as Dexter. After this, we'll show you the deaths, and then we may wrap it up or talk to him about some of his other first stuff, or he may draw a character for you and we can watch it live on screen.
Yeah, I was going to show them how Dirk goes together, how he's... So this is, when he's a kid, he's Will Finn's voice. And that's Lorna Pomeroy's voice as Kimmy.
What up? Stop about.
I'm going to ask a question that I'm seeing looking at this, is that the girl there looks like a kind of maybe an early rendering of an Ariel, and the villain kind of looks like an early rendering of maybe a genie. Were those any relations there at all?
No, there was quite a few years between those things.
Take a look over there at that video camera. And what are you doing? Oh, look at it. He got eaten by a robot. He falls to his death. Oh, he gets plowed in. Shot to death. Oh, spaceship crash. Spaceship crash. Okay. So he's doing a quick layup here. Crazy, the death scenes. What's interesting, which I find, is that when you watch them in sequence, a lot of them are very similar to their recycling animation to, again, save on time and on cost. Oh no, he melted. Since this is 3 minutes, we'll wrap it up. So what exactly are you doing right here, Philo?
I'm showing you the kind of shorthand we used to get Dirk drafted and moving.
So perhaps one of you in the crowd might be lucky enough to get this drawing as a secret prize. So I'm going to count people, and I'm going to try to do a secret number, and we'll see what happens. You know, I can even sound like a dialect. You want to hear me sound like a dialect? All right. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I see Dirk the Daring coming out. Yes. If you, again, write this down or pull out your cell phones, go to silverphoenix.net. Spread the word. I'm updating the site so you'll see more of the conventions that we're going. We almost got kind of like got dead heads, but I call them Ariel heads. Who like follow Philo from convention to convention. I just kind of tag along. I'm lucky enough to be allowed in his presence. He's very kind to me. Wait, was that the horn? Was that the Lizard King or Philo? I get confused.
That was me. No, this is the Lizard King.
Are you able to see how he's forming? Now, what's very interesting with animation, and even comic books to a point, is to help save time and to speed the pace of footage, they create what is called formulas. Can you talk a little bit about that while you're drawing?
Yeah, I'm putting him together a piece at a time. It's like building a building or cooking from a recipe so that everyone can get a hold of this character and draw him. And especially Daphne, she needed a formula too. People freak out when they have to draw pretty girls. So try to make it as easy as possible. Even the simple handling of a hand. I've got that whipped in there already. Once I have the rest of him here, I can put this sword.
Now, what's really amazing is you see how this quote seems to flow effortlessly? Yeah. It's a lifetime of skill, hand-eye coordination, but also, please don't get an inflated head, he has been considered by other animators in the field a genius. I mean, when we were at a convention on the West Coast, and there were a crew of animators from different shows that he worked on in the past, one of them pulled me aside and said, "How did you get him? This guy is a genius." I mean, they were fanboying over him. I mean, his own colleagues, which is just amazing. And well, he's my buddy Philo, la-di-da-di-da. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up. I guess the people are here for the other panel. What I'm going to do is quickly run and get a pair of dice. Don't leave the seat yet. I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going to borrow from the game stores. I've already counted how many people are, and that will be the number who gets this drawing. If everybody would be kind enough, please follow a round of applause. I'm going to get the dice. And we'll just wait till the other rube comes up, and then we'll go from there. Look at that. He's nearly done in 3 minutes.
And there you go. That's the end of this podcast episode. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, learning about the behind-the-scenes happenings on how some of your favorite animated cartoon movies and video games came about with both Philo Barnhart and Charles D. Moisant at the 2017 Midwest Gaming Classic Convention. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel and the video very much, and I would greatly appreciate it if you would just take a little bit of time to do those things. And until next time, take care, stay safe, and game on.